Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Tento. I have a book today that I'm going to read to you called Miss Rumphius, written and illustrated by Barbara Cooney, a very well known children's author and artist. Um, she had a great aunt named Miss Rumphius, and that is the name of this story. And it is about a lady who wanted to do three things in life. And it reminds me of our mothers because your mothers are doing great things in their lifetime. And as you listen to this story, I want you to hear what she did to make the world a better place. And you're going to be using this information to help you think about how your mother is making the world a better place. So, with that, let's go ahead and read Miss Rumphius. And there's our title page, Miss Rumphius. And here she has a dedication page. It says, "To St. Nicholas, patron saint of children, sailors, and maidens." And there's her picture. All right. The Lupin lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupin lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship, and there's her little house by the sea. Right there's her house, and there's the sea, and there's Miss Alice. Now he worked in a shop at the bottom of the house making figureheads, that's her grandfather, for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of the cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures too of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, he helped Alice helped him put in the skies. So there she is painting the skies. Okay. And here's a picture of where they put those figureheads right there to decorate the ship. And there's a story behind those as well. In the evening, in the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "Oh, that's all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "Well, what is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she was grown up. Then my great aunt Alice set out to do three things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. And here's a picture of the library. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped outside on a wintry day, make sure you're getting to see that whole picture. The warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." And here's the picture of the flower conservatory where they grew all these botanicals and flowers and all kinds of things made of plant life. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked up till on long beaches, picking up beautiful seashells. One day she met the Bapa Raja, king of a fishing village. "Oh, you must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Bapa Raja's wife. The Bapa Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Bapa Raja gave her a beautiful mother of pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "Ah, you will always remain in mine too," said Miss Rumphius. And here's a little picture of a house and some children with Miss Rumphius. My great aunt Alice Rumphius climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the locust eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "Oh, what a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. And here's a picture of her climbing the mountains where the snow never melts. And here is her little house by the sea, which is better known as the ocean. From the porch on her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in the glory of the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "Oh, but there's still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." But what? The world is pretty nice," she thought, looking over the vast ocean. And there's the rest of the picture. There it is. The next spring, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupines," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved the lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could still have more flowers next year." But she was not able to. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been in a long time. "Oh, I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. "It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupine seeds. All that summer, Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands, sowing lupins. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung full of them around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into the hollows and along the stone walls. Her back didn't hurt any more at all. Now some people called her that crazy old lady. And sometimes people misunderstand that someone might be up to something very good and they get a little bit perturbed. But Miss Rumphius was doing something very lovely. The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse. And back of the church, down in the hollows and along the stone walls, grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the third most difficult thing to do. And there's the big picture of her town. My great aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupins. Now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the field of lupins. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. Oh, that is very well, little Alice, says my aunt, but there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. And there are all the little friends waiting at the gate to go see the old Lupin lady. But I do not know yet what that can be. And so I don't know if that's Miss Barbara Cooney that's saying she doesn't know what that could be, but she knows she's going to leave the world a better place. And Miss Barbara Cooney, or the artist and the writer of this book, she has since passed away, but I think she wrote about 100 books. I'm not for sure, but it was a lot of books. And the way she left our world a better place was drawing and painting beautiful paintings and stories for children like you to listen to, Miss Rumphius. And this is a winner of the American Book Award, and the style of her painting is somewhat primitive but very lovely to look at. Boys and girls, now we're using this book as what we call a springboard for thinking about what our own mothers have done in our lives. And I want you to think of how your mom is making the world a much more beautiful place, just being in your life, your family's life, and then the life of your town. What is the difference your mommy's making? Because you're going to be using that in a very special way. And in the next video today that I make, you are going to see what special surprise you and your daddy are going to be making for your mommy. Daddy's going to help you do the work, but it's going to be all your work. And I wish we could be at school together to do this, because we've always done it together. And this is just Mommy's Day 2020. And she'll always remember that you did this at home with your dad. So it will be equally as special to her. Have a wonderful day, boys and girls. We'll see you later on today with the directions for your special project.